Hey everyone, it's Brennan. Welcome to my channel and welcome to another video. Today we are going to start a holiday themed reading vlog. I thought it would be fun to just read some holiday romances and vlog it. I was super interested in some holiday releases, namely Holly Jolly Diwali, and I guess window shopping, but I've already read window shopping, but maybe I'll talk about that. But also, I just wanted to open this Hello Lovely box. It's their holiday box, and you had 3 book options for it, and I picked all 3 because why decide? I think the options were a rom-com, taboo, or paranormal. And how do you pick between those when you're someone like me? But I got my box and I thought this would be a good vlog to open it in. I know I've been spoiled for what one of these is. I think it is Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey. Yeah, because I've seen some people open it, and then Tessa Bailey posted today her Hello Lovely cover that she did. But here it is. It's super cute. I love Stella, how she looks on here, because isn't she just like a goth queen? I love her. And Aiden's bow tie. This is so cute. Well, and then I bet this one is the paranormal one. This is the Rogue King. Have I heard of this? Oh, this has dragons in it. That is so exciting. Dragon Shifters. Okay, this is sounding very... Who does those dragon books? Ruby someone Ruby. This is super exciting. Look at that cover. It's very like Game of Thrones with the dragon in the corner. And then, I've mentioned this recently, I believe. I love books that have food on the cover. And this is just so juicy and cute. Cherry Bomb by Carmel Rhodes. This is so pretty. So I'm guessing this is the taboo. So apparently she had her heart broken when she was young, and then she got into drugs, and then she meets a tattooed prince. I wonder if he's actually a prince or if they just call Cash Davidson a tattooed prince. Wow. This, oh, he's her best friend's dad. There it is. There's the taboo. Wow. Isn't that so exciting? Okay, and then what else did we get in here? We got so much stuff in here. Okay, there's a whole other box I need to open. Oh, and then a candle. Can you see that? This is called Comfy AF. Nice. Very spicy. Very cute. Ooh. Peppermint lotion. Tea drops. Oh, do you just like drop this into tea? It's like an Earl Grey, rose Earl Grey tea drop. More things. These are so cute. Bookmarks. Ooh. These are super cute. This says, and it says it on the back too, Cozy Reads, Winter Vibes, Sweater Weather, Hot Chocolate, Scarves and Mittens, Fuzzy Socks, Quality Time, Cold Nights, Crackling Fires. Is that what this side says? Yes. And then this one is super cute. It's got like ice skating things and hot chocolate and candy canes. That's super cute. Wow. Okay, now what's in this second box? Their tape is high quality. Oh, it's a mug. Yeah. Ooh. Oh, that's so cute. It says, my hair is all over the place, snuggle season. That's so cute. And it's got a little book on it. So wasn't that quite the book box? I am really liking the Hello Lovely boxes. Okay, now that that's out of the way, I'm sorry, I just like really couldn't wait. After I started seeing everyone post their Tessa Bailey books, I just had to open that box. So let's talk through what may be my TBR for this vlog. I am definitely reading A Holly Jolly Diwali by Sonia Lawley. That's like my favorite thing to say. And I have the audio for Starry Night by Debbie Macomber. I've started it. It will be my first Debbie Macomber book. And when I think of her, I think of my mom. And my mom is very sensible. So I am interested to see what I think of this, what I imagine will be a very sensible holiday book. but it's about a reporter, and she gets a job, or she gets, it's not a case. What do reporters get? An assignment to go find this author who no one has ever had an interview with, but he wrote this really popular book, and he lives in Alaska, and her job is just like, hey, go find this person who lives somewhere in Alaska. And then it's their romance. So super excited to read that one. Super excited to see what I think about it, because if I'm being honest with you, I'm kind of in the mood for a more indie vibe, which brings me to next up on my TBR. And this is all thanks to my wonderful friend Amanda from Ginger Snapped Reads. She was talking about, it's an anthology of a bunch of indie short stories by a bunch of indie authors, and I'm looking at what it's called. Twisted Christmas. Yes, and they're all like taboo, and she was showing me some of the titles, and like the title tells you what kind of taboo it is. So I will definitely read a couple of those. This anthology collection is like 1,000 pages long. I think it has 12 stories in it. That would make sense because the 12 Days of Christmas. And the authors are Sarah Kate, QB Tyler, B Celeste, Catherine Mara, Ivy Fox and Thandi, Amanda Richardson, Nyla Kay, Lee Lennon, J.D. Hollyfield, A.R. Breck, Bellamy Roswell, and S. Rena and B.L. Mute. I don't know a lot of those. I do know QB Tyler and B Celeste. So I will pick some of those up and let you know what I think of those. Oh, I'm also going to read Forever Wild by K.A. Tucker, which is her last book. Actually, I guess it's not her last book in her Simple Wild series anymore, because she's continuing it with Marie's story, which is a questionable decision, honestly. But anyway, I haven't read the third book, which is a novella, which is holiday based, and I'm trying to buddy read it with Christine from the Roomies Digest. But this is like 150 pages, and it's Kalla's parents and Jonah's parents and step parents coming together to Alaska for the holidays. And I'm only like 10% into it, but Jonah's stepdad either needs a huge character redemption or he needs to get out of the picture. Like, he is very entitled and complainy, and we don't like that. But anyway, welcome to the vlog. I'll let you know what I think of these books. If I add more books to my TBR, stick around. I'm sure we will do some fun holiday things. Almost an hour into the audiobook for Starry Night by Debbie Macomber, and this is just going to be, you know, a light-hearted, holiday, wintry romance, and that's fine. But what is so funny is, so she starts on this journey to locate this author who no one has had an interview with, and it's like this big job, no one's been able to do it, and she shows up to his mom's house, and she's like, hello, I'm a reporter. And his mom is like, another one of you all, no thank you, and is closing the door. And Carrie, our main female character, she's like, wait, I only write for the society pages, and I really want to write a true story. And then his mom is like, well, okay, you got me. Come in. And I'm just like, that is hilarious. That is just so unrealistic and so funny. And then the same thing with, so she finds out a bush pilot who knows Finn Dalton, the mysterious author, from his mom. So she shows up, I don't know how she knows like which airport, which hangar, where he is, but she's like, hello, I'm looking for Sawyer. And he's like, not another one of you reporters looking for Finn. And she's like, but please, I have something for him. And he's like, all right, since you got me here, all right, let's go. He just takes her like immediately. And I'm like, these people who have to fight off reporters all the time, they're pretty lenient with her. They're like, all right, come on. And I just think that's so funny. But we're less than an hour into this. To be fair, I think this is just like a 5-hour audiobook. But we're less than an hour in, and she has just met Finn Dalton. So way to go, girl. You've done it. How have you stayed in the society pages for this long? You are a grade A reporter. But I just think that's really funny. But he's definitely going to be grumpy. He has a thing with females.
Like, he doesn't like them for some reason. I think his mom betrayed him and his dad. But yeah, we're in Alaska now, which is super exciting. And I'll let you know. That's like legitimately what has happened in the first 50 minutes of this audiobook. And I just think it's really funny. But yeah, good time so far. I'm just going to stay very surface level with my enjoyment for this, and that's fine.
Hello, and boy, do I have an update for you. First of all, I've been a little bit under the weather for the last couple days, so bear with me if my voice is a little off. I tested negative for the virus, and it's totally normal for me to have like seasonal allergy things, but in society today, you kind of have to freak out a bit about it, especially with Omicron. Anyway, I finished like 3 books since I talked to you last. I'm so bad at this vlogging thing. No, I will not say that. If I say it, that's what makes it real. I've just been reading a lot, mainly audiobooks. All these that I'm about to update you on are audiobooks. Let's first finish up talking about Starry Night by Debbie Macomber. I gave this book 1 star. I did not like it. It was very insta-love after they spend like a day and a half in this cabin together, and then she has to go back to Chicago and she has to prove her loyalty to him by not writing the article about him. And she has the most annoying friend at work. Her name was Sophie. She was so in her business, and I just never understood why they were even friends, because they just annoyed each other. And then Carrie, our main character, was pretty annoying too. Like, she would kind of tell people what they needed to do about their lives. Like, she gave a lot of unsolicited advice. And I was like, everyone here is just really annoying. And then the guy, Finn, made a surprise trip to Chicago because Carrie had to go on a date with this guy that she had already set up like before she went to Alaska. And he took it upon himself to travel to Chicago while she was on this date and like make her feel guilty about going on it. And then once he got to Chicago, Carrie was like, "Oh, I don't know if I want you around my friends because everyone's going to want you." And I was like, you all are so weird. And nothing Christmassy even really happened. Like, yeah, okay, there was snow and there was Alaska, but Alaska is not inherently Christmas. And then the very last scene takes place on Christmas Day when he comes back and is like, "Oh, I actually do want to be with you." It was just not my favorite. And I've also read A Holly Jolly Diwali by Sonia Lawley, and I gave this one 3 stars. It was a completely fine and adequate time. It was also a little insta-lovey. So the premise of this is our main character is like 29. She has a really good job in the tech field in Seattle. And she basically has this job because her parents wanted her to be successful, and her older sister is very irresponsible, so she takes it upon herself to be the responsible sister. But it's never really let her enjoy her life. She really likes music, but she never pursued it because it's not a traditionally successful career like computer science is that she ended up doing. But she gets let go. But it conveniently lets her go to her best friend's wedding in India. I think it's in Mumbai. So she does some traveling in here, which is really fun. And her love interest he's like the bass player in the band that played at her friend's wedding, but he turned out to be like an old family friend of her best friend. Anyway, they end up spending some time together. And they like each other, but she's like, this is just going to be a fling. This can't go anywhere. But then, like, maybe it's a week into their relationship. The timeline is a little off to me. Maybe it's like a week into them basically just being very good friends. Like, nothing steamy happens in this. Like, they've just kissed at this point, and she's like, "He is my everything." That's like a quote. She literally calls him her everything, and she's ready to like move out of the country. She's like canceled job interviews that she had set up, and I was like, oh oh, okay, that's a choice. But then that's kind of like another plot line, like her doing things to please other people. Anyway, it was a fun time. I really enjoyed the travel. The characters were so. I enjoyed watching her relationship with her sister. And it wasn't the most holly jolly book. Like, you do get some Diwali stuff, and another like little underlying thing in the book is her asking different people what Diwali means, because she doesn't really know, and apparently a lot of people don't really know, and after the book I still don't really know. It's just kind of whatever you want it to be. And yeah, a completely fun, adequate, short book. And then a complete surprise was, I have to look up this book because I read it so fast that the title escapes me. It's called Coming Home from Christmas, and I think it's by Rayanne Thatcher. I'm looking that up though because I want to be accurate because I liked it so much. Goodreads is so slow. Like, do you all think that Goodreads as an app does not seem like it would be affiliated with something as large and successful as Amazon? Like, it feels like some guy I went to high school with who dabbles in coding created it. Anyway, this book was Coming Home for Christmas by Rayanne Thane, and I liked it so much. So this cover is like super cute and Christmassy, right? Well, this story had so much more to it than this cover suggests, and it was pretty fast-paced. So we start out, and this husband has gone to find his wife. She has been missing for 7 years, and his friend, who is an FBI agent, has just found her. She's going by a different name, she's living in a different state, and everyone in their hometown thinks that he murdered her 7 years ago. And they have a new district attorney who is wanting to close the case. She wants to press charges against him. And he's like, well, I better find my wife so I can clear my name. So we start out with him finding her and saying, hey, you've got to come home. It's time for you to come home. Everyone thinks I murdered you. We have to clear my name. And then you can go off and do whatever you want. And they have 2 kids together. They have like a 9-year-old and a 7-year-old. And the story is basically us finding out what made her leave her family for 7 years, what kept her away for so long. And there are big trigger warnings for things like postpartum depression and mental health and physical disability also. So like, yes, those are trigger warnings, but wow, they added some substance to this book. Also, this is like number 10 in a series, but you totally do not have to read any other book in the series to enjoy this book. I didn't. It's called like the Haven Point series, and I think it just focuses on different couples within this town. And now I'm super interested in reading more because this one was really good and just had a lot of plot and a lot of story and a lot of character development, and I enjoyed it a lot. Did I say I gave it 5 stars? Because I did. And this one is pretty Christmassy because all of this is taking place over the holidays, so they do like little holiday things to kind of get their family back together a little bit. Like, they do some decorating and they look at some Christmas lights. But overall, like, it is not a lighthearted story. It is very entertaining. I was engrossed in it. I think I listened to this in like one day. And like I said, now I'm super interested to pick up other books in this series. I also think there may be some more Christmassy books in this series also. So super interested in those. So those are 3 books that I've read recently. Some did not like at all. Some really surprisingly enjoyed. And after I finished that Debbie Macomber book, I was like, all right, no more Debbie Macomber for me. I'm one and done. But then my hold came through. Apparently I had put a hold in on another Debbie Macomber book. This one's called Dashing Through the Snow. I haven't started it yet, but I was like, all right, give it to me. These books are like 5 hours long. I think the paper books are like maybe 250 pages. And I'm like, all right, I can do 2.5 hours because I usually listen at 2.2, 2.3 times speed. So I'm like, all right, let's just do it. And plus the covers are just so cute and cozy. And then I've also started another audiobook though, and that is for The 12 Dates of Christmas. Is that what it is? This one is quite popular. The 12 Dates of Christmas by Jenny Bayliss. And I've heard some people do not like this book, but I've heard other people really enjoy this book. So I started it today while I was walking to work. I've only listened to, I don't even think I'm 10% into it. And this audiobook's a little bit longer. It's like 10 hours. But this is another book that starts out pretty quick. So we have this girl. I'm not sure what her profession is, but she bakes cakes, but I don't know if that's her job or just a hobby yet. And she basically signs up to go on 12 dates during Christmas. But I think her true love interest is going to be this guy who she had a thing with before. So this may be a little second chance romancy under the guise of her serial dating. But I was intrigued. I really liked the atmosphere. We start out in a coffee shop with lots of descriptions of brownies and cakes and hot drinks. So I was enjoying that this morning when it was like 28 degrees while I was walking to work. So yeah, that will probably be the next one I finish. Oh, and I read, wow, completely was not thinking about this one. I read Forever Wild by K.A. Tucker, which is her 2.5 book in her Simple Wild series, and it was so good. I gave it 5 stars. It is a holiday novella in this series. I'm assuming it, for the most part, wraps up Calla and Jonah's relationship. This isn't a spoiler. And you just like know how these romances go. But this novella is basically them planning a wedding at Christmas time, and it was so good. You know, you just get cameos from your characters, and there's a little bit of, in these books, there's always a scene where someone is missing and you don't know where they are. There was a little bit of that in here, so we had some excitement. We had Calla's family and Jonah's family coming together and meeting each other for the first time. Roy is another great character in this, and we get some more about his family and some growth for him. Honestly, he's probably my favorite character in this entire series. But yeah, that was really super good too. And then, wow, I am chatty Cathy this evening. I started the first short story in Twisted Christmas, which is a big book of taboo Christmas novellas by a bunch of different romance authors. And the first one I'm reading is by Sarah Kate, and it is a priest romance. And that's taboo because they take a vow of celibacy. And I don't know how I feel about it, just because, like, religion is not the most exciting topic for me in a romance. In fantasy, I love religions in fantasy and having those play big roles in plots in fantasy books. But this is a romance, and we're supposed to feel some type of way in a romance, especially these taboo romances. So there's that. But yeah, the entire, like, all of the novellas come out to be like close to 1,200 pages. So I don't know if I'll get that read by the end of the year, but I do want to read all of them. Obviously, there's 12 because Christmas and the number 12. So that's my update for you. So sorry that it's taken so long, but those are just the books I've been reading, and I've been pretty consistent. I've read a lot of books so far this month. And tomorrow I'm making a bunch of cookies and tasty treats because no one in my family needs a physical gift, so I hope they're not expecting one, and I hope they're fine with just getting cookies because they just don't really need anything. They're adults. There aren't a lot of kids in my family, and adults just buy the things that they want and buy the things that they need. And I personally am on a little bit of, I won't say a minimalism journey, but I just want to live in a more aesthetically pleasing space. And to do that, I need to get rid of things. But thank you for sticking with me through this update. It's been a long one. Prissy over here has enjoyed listening to me talk. I hope you have too. And stick around and we will see what I have to update you with next.
friends, I'm here to wrap up the vlog. Today's the day after Christmas. I hope you all had a great holiday if you celebrate, or just a cozy time. Christmas was on a weekend, which was really nice. It's 70 degrees in Kentucky, which is on par, I guess. We just have crazy weather, like those tornadoes that happened in the western part of the state. I'm in the central part of the state right now, and I'm from the eastern part. Those tornadoes that happened in the western part of the state were awful, like a horrible tragedy. I think about it a lot. But I managed to read 2 more books. I read Dashing Through the Snow by Debbie Macomber, and I just don't think I should read any more Debbie Macomber books. So I knew that this one was a Hallmark movie, and I've watched the Hallmark movie and enjoyed it. But this is where the girl's trying to fly home for Christmas, and she's trying to buy a plane ticket, but she's on the no-fly list, like with the FBI, because she has the same name as like someone that they are actually after. So from there ensues this FBI chase that she is unaware of, and she and another guy who is wanting to get a flight at the airport end up sharing the last car to be rented. So it's their love story, but it's just, her female characters are just kind of not for me. Like they act kind of entitled. So she's like standing at the desk at the airport, and she's like, but you have to sell me a ticket. I'm a graduate student and I'm trying to surprise my mom for Christmas. And they just kind of have that attitude about them. And like, I don't want to say that they want to change the men and that the men are expected to change for them, but the men are definitely expected to do whatever they want. Anyway, I'm giving this like 2.5 stars. Like, it was fine, but the FBI was super incompetent. Like, and I get that it's like rom-com, I guess, but it just wasn't the funnest time. Like, I rolled my eyes a lot as I was listening to this, but I did listen to it while I was baking cookies. You probably saw a little clip of that. But I also finished The 12 Dates of Christmas by Jenny Bayliss, and I started out enjoying this, and then once you kind of find out who your love interest is going to be, spoiler alert, it's like a second chance romance from a friend that she used to have a thing for, and they had a falling out, but then now they're living in their hometown again. So it's her romance with him, and I just never figured out why we were supposed to even like him. I just didn't feel like he played that big of a role in the story, and I was just having more fun of a time watching her go on these dates. So that was fun. The romance was just like not there at all. You're just kind of expected to know that they have a history, and I just never felt any chemistry, and he like yells at her at one point, and I felt like he needed to grovel a little bit, but they end up together. So there's that. I gave this 3 stars. It was fun, but the romance was just not there. It was just more of a fun holiday time, which I was kind of in the mood for. But I read so many books during this, I don't even know how many I've talked about, but I hope you have enjoyed watching me talk about these books. So what we have learned is that Debbie Macomber is not for me. They're just not, and that's okay. That's fine. But thank you all for watching. I hope you had a great holiday season. New Year is still coming up. That's a pretty fun time. But give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next one.